So good morning, everyone. Happy Friday morning. Welcome to a snowy, cold day. I hope everybody is safe and sound and warm. I'm going to take a few minutes just to welcome us. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here today. We're very pleased to be able to welcome those of you who have been with us for a long time, as well as those of you who are new to LCC. Before we get started, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to Dr. Selena Samuels, Patrick Butcher, Lane Ingram, David Wasinger, and Margot Whalen, who worked hard to make this event and the rest of the February events come together. Today, we're celebrating the closing of our current strategic plan. In addition, we're celebrating the many people who worked hard to make this plan a success to take LCC to where we are now. As you'll see in today's video, the work that went into implementing and executing the plan touched all areas of the college as well as the community. After we close out the current strategic plan today, we'll begin the exciting work of creating where we want to be in the next 3 years. At the end of our celebration today, Dr. Samuels will explain the strategic planning process we'll be using for the next year and how you can participate. Your voice and ideas are important to us and to our success over the next 3 years. Again, welcome everyone, and thank you for being here. I would like to now hand this over to Dr. Robinson for his opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Welch, and good morning, everyone. I want to thank everybody for being here on a snowy Friday. I'm very inspired this morning. So much great work has gone into strategic planning here at Lansing Community College over many years. For the past 6 months or so, I've been listening and learning about the great processes that go back to 2011 or so. Many, many years of great work doing strategic planning here at the college. Our strategic planning process is intended to be a very inclusive, ground-up process that's built on deep stakeholder input. And as Dr. Welch mentioned, we've put together a video that acknowledges your work over the past many years, celebrates, and it hopefully inspires all of us to continue this commitment and momentum going forward. So with that, I'd like to share this brief video that our team put together to commemorate the great strategic planning work that's been done and kick off the refresh process for the future.
Lansing Community College is a national leader and powerhouse institution.
Lansing Community College is
Lansing Community College.
Community College in Lansing, Michigan.
But wait, this doesn't just happen, and it certainly didn't occur overnight. You, our faculty and staff, made this happen, and it started 4 years ago.
A strategic plan is a way for an organization to come to consensus about its identity and what the actions will be going forward. It's about our people, our faculty, our staff, and what we do for the students and communities we serve.
This is big work, and because of the commitment of faculty and staff across the college, we've seen big results. Our 2017 to 2021 strategic plan had 5 major focus areas: engaged learning and student success, leadership, culture, and communication, community engagement, competitiveness and innovation, resource management, and fiscal responsibility.
There has been movement on every single project or initiative in our current strategic plan. Now that says a lot about the people we have here and their commitment to our students, our community, and really to making a difference.
Let's take a look at the results of our big work.
Well, the Accessibility Initiative was a college-wide project to ensure that we were able to make accessible all courses, forms, documents, materials.
That we want to make sure that LCC is a place that's inclusive to people with
a variety of disabilities. And that not only includes our students, but also faculty and staff as well. That's why it's important.
The RISE Institute is designed to encourage ownership of professional growth while also giving an opportunity for faculty to enhance their own learning in a concise format. And so it's important to our strategic plan because it supports our faculty. It enhances the support that we need for our staff to be successful in administering support services to our students.
The Applause Awards are unique in that they allow all of our employees to participate in an informal, direct feedback recognition of good things their peers are doing. It's very direct. So it's a very quick and easy way for people to say thank you.
Student open forums were created to offer students an opportunity to come together and give us some opinions and perspectives on their experience at LCC. We want to know what they need, we have to ask the students. They know what they need. And so if we give them an opportunity to share with us what they need, we can help them be successful.
One of our primary priorities was to launch the Award Showcase, which is a formal recognition program that we really needed for the college. And we learned so much about the individuals we have working with us and their qualifications and skills and things that they do in the community that we would not otherwise know. It's a beautiful thing.
C3R is the Coalition for College and Career Readiness. I really can tell that the strategic plan has really driven everything that C3R does. Everything we do is data-driven. It involves all the stakeholders, and it's really tied to the community college mission of engaging and serving the needs of our community.
We were tasked with identifying a long-term strategy to meet the student and employees' parking needs. It was really critical to getting all the subject matter expertise that we needed at the college to have a successful project. So bringing all those folks together in a structured way was really critical to our success.
So Program in a Minute is a tremendous initiative designed to educate and inform our potential student body and our existing student body of the dynamics of numerous and diverse programs offered by LCC. So it's very, very successful. Students and prospective students are finding it very informative and entertaining and enlightening.
The program is really important because ultimately it results in higher student success. Even more importantly, it's about letting students have access to really high quality materials at no cost or very, very low cost.
You have an idea of something you want to try in the class that might help learning, might help students. We'll work with you to figure out how we can do this and connect to the larger community, the larger public. We're, first only community college doing some of this stuff and breaking ground in a bunch of different directions that we hadn't even envisioned.
So Grow with Google was a tremendous partnership and continues to be a great partnership between LCC and Google. And the intent was for individuals to improve their skill sets, enhance their careers, and help grow their small businesses. We delivered almost 90 programs, trained over 500 individuals.
This was just a glimpse at some of the incredible work we've been able to accomplish. There are a number of additional projects, both completed and underway, in all of the major focus areas. So what's next? We've made it to 2021, but this is far from the end.
We have a responsibility to answer the call of our students and community. That's part of what this strategic plan refresh is all about. Taking a look and acknowledging all the incredible work that's been done, charting a path to complete the projects that are still outstanding, and then building upon what we've learned over this past year and charging forward.
We're adding diversity, equity, and inclusion as an additional focus area because it's extremely important. Now, more than ever, it's imperative that we take a stand to ensure that our college is on the right side of history and that we didn't stay silent, or accept the status quo.
We have to be committed to building and sustaining an environment where everyone feels safe, welcome, and included. And so with your help, that's exactly what we're going to continue to do. Every person that works here plays a pivotal role in us achieving our goals. You have a say in the work that we do. Your voice matters, and we want and need to hear it.
Get involved in the big work and help us get big results.
I wanted to work on things that would really help our students.
I think strategic planning is important because it gives us a roadmap to complete the work that we're trying to do.
So being a part of this really made me feel like my voice mattered.
Don't just go to the meetings to be there. Go to make a difference.
We have an opportunity to create real change with this work.
I think everyone should get involved. If you hear about the college, the students, and our community, the work that we do, this is a great way to show it.
Your voice will make a difference, and we want and need to hear it. To each and every person, department, and program that has worked on these projects, thank you for doing the big work and getting big results.
Wow, that video was inspiring. And I appreciate everyone who worked to put that video together. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that was actually in the video. We appreciate you lending your voice and sharing your experience in the strategic planning process with everyone. So thank you. And good morning. I hope that everyone's doing well, that you're excited about this new strategic planning process that we're about to engage in. And for those of you that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, my name is Selena Samuel, and I'm serving as the Interim Senior Vice President of Business Operations. And I will be the last presenter for this kickoff meeting, so bear with me and we will get through this first session. But before we begin, I have to really acknowledge Dr. Robinson, our fearless and courageous leader who came up with the idea to approach strategic planning as a refresh of our already established and relevant focus areas. So thank you to Dr. Robinson for your leadership. And then also, I would like to acknowledge any of our Board of Trustees members that have joined us today. Elements of the strategic plan refresh will heavily be influenced by the Board of Trustees resolution addressing racial injustice through equity and inclusion. So thank you to our Board of Trustees. Now, today we said that we are doing a celebration. So what are we celebrating? We are celebrating every project that was completed as a direct result of our prior strategic planning process and everyone that contributed in any way. We want to again give special acknowledgement to all employees that participated in the strategic planning process, whether by offering ideas during February Fridays or by signing up to be on strategic planning teams. The video presentation that was excellently put together by Lane Ingram and Dave Wazinger was developed with you in mind. Because of you, the college was able to take big ideas and accomplish big things for our employees, students, and community. So I thank you again for your contributions, and I hope that when you see our employees being celebrated through the applause awards, that when you see our employees on the local news or in the paper, that you understand that this has a lot to do with the work that you do here. When you see our college being recognized as a local, state, and national leader in higher education, all these things are only made possible because of the work that our employees do. So in addition to all the people that worked on these teams, I have to thank Dr. Sally Welch and our executive leadership team who served as project lead for many of these projects that were mentioned in the video. Our efforts in strategic planning would not have been successful without you. So thank you, ELT. We appreciate you. And if there's anyone that participated in the strategic plan process, you should have received a certificate of appreciation.
If for some reason you participated and did not receive a certificate, you can send an email to strategicplan@lcc.edu and we will make sure that you receive one. So once again, we thank you for all of your participation. The second part of what we want to talk about today is really the strategic plan refresh. And as we go through this process today and tomorrow, I'm certainly encouraged by all of the conversation that I see in the chat and the emojis that I see people doing. Please continue to do that, because in reality, if we were under normal circumstances, we would do the strategic plan process face to face. We normally get together on Fridays, we have lunch, we sit at tables, we're at breakout sessions. We're just like one big cross-functional team. And so this is a unique environment, and we appreciate your patience as we endeavor to still get your opinions just in a different way. So thank you so much. And if everybody can just give a virtual hand clap to Patrick Butcher, because he is going to be helping us a lot with strategic planning and with these breakout sessions and trying to make them successful. So thank you, Patrick. When it comes to the strategic plan refresh, as Dr. Robinson mentioned, we are going to continue with our 5 original focus areas, but we're adding diversity, equity, and inclusion as a standalone focus area. And this is so exciting to me. And not only will it be a standalone focus area, but diversity, equity, inclusion, or as we refer to it as DEI, will be embedded in every single focus area. So no matter which focus area you decide to lend your voice to, there will be a conversation about DEI. This is something that I do not believe a lot of other colleges and universities are doing. So we are on the cutting edge, and I really hope that we all embrace this DEI as a strategic focus area and embed it within all of our other areas. So when we talk about strategic planning, I just want to remind you of some things that we talked about during PA days. So our strategic plan is just basically going to tell who we are, where we are, where we'd like to go, and how we'd like to get there. So what we do this year is going to be no different. The only thing is that we're adding a couple of new elements. First, we are adding aspiration to it. We want to be more aspirational than ever before. We want to figure out, where do we want to be a leader? Where do we want this college to be nationally recognized, internationally recognized? We don't want to settle. Where do we want to be? And not just as a college, but for our employees, for our faculty. How do we want our faculty and students to be known for? We want our faculty to be well known in their field. We want them to be leaders in their field. That's aspiration. So when we go through these sessions, we're going to be asking you to think big. We want you to think about big, hairy, audacious goals that maybe somebody else would think twice about doing, but not LCC. We are ready to go to the next level. And that's what the strategic planning process is about. The other new thing that we're going to do with this strategic plan process is that we're going to focus on strategic issues. A strategic issue is a change or a challenge that's affecting higher education, our mission, our academic programs, how we service our students. And so what we want to do is, if there's something that's going on in our external environment that can challenge the way we do business, we want to make sure that we are proactive. We do not want to be reactive. Now, here's a couple examples of strategic issues. Obviously, we know that diversity, equity, and inclusion, that's a national issue. And yes, we have to address it. But as a college, we also have to address cybersecurity. We're doing more and more online. So we need to think about that ahead of time. We also have to think about health and safety, emergency management. There's so many issues that in some respects are beyond our control. So we need to figure out, how are we going to address it? And we want to use this process to be strategic and move forward together in a positive direction as it relates to all these focus areas. Yesterday, someone asked me, why should employees participate in the strategic planning session? And this diagram came to my attention. Really, it's because if you participate in the strategic planning process, that strategic plan that we develop is going to be the plan that all of our other operational plans are built upon. So if you participate in the strategic planning process in any way, shape, or form, you will be lending your ear, your voice, your opinions as to what the college should be doing in the future.
And at the end of the day, when we create these strategic plans, every focus area will have projects associated with it, and those projects will touch you in some way, shape, or form. So it's a good idea to lend your voice as early as possible. So I encourage people to do it. Obviously, it's voluntary, but I will tell you this. I have had the opportunity to participate in strategic planning in the past, and I consider it a valuable, valuable experience. So I encourage you to do so. And if you say, you know what, I can't be at all these Friday meetings or anything like that, then we do have an email address, a strategicplan@lcc.edu. Offer your opinions that way, but please offer your opinions. Now here's the schedule. We reviewed this at PA Days, but I want to show it so that you know we are on schedule. We're starting at February 5th, which is our kickoff, and we'll continue to have the Friday sessions. And then in March, we're going to reach out to our student and community so that they can provide some information to us on their thoughts about our focus areas in the college in general. And then on March 25th, we're going to have a meeting that will allow you to sign up for a work group. And this is important for you to start thinking about ahead of time, because the strategic plan work group is going to consist of, at a minimum, an ELT member that's going to help lead the project, an academic senate lead, a non-management lead, and then we're going to appoint someone from financial services and Center for Data Science to participate on these work groups. Ideally, we'll also have a subject matter expert and other interested parties. And that's really important for you to understand what that makeup looks like. And I know that just telling you who's on the group is not enough. People need to know, you know, if I'm on this group, what are my responsibilities before I volunteer? So let's talk about that. If you are volunteering to be a lead, then the expectation is that you will help facilitate meetings, that you will help establish goals, outcome, key performance indicators, and establish our goals for our assigned focus area. So that's a lot. It's a little bit different than what we're going to do today in our focus sessions. Today, all the Friday sessions are going to be brainstorming sessions. But when you get to be a part of a work group, we're going to move beyond brainstorming and get into doing some real work. Part of that real work is coming up with a project charter. Now, this is something that's new. We did not do project charters for all of our work groups last year. Or excuse me, the last time we did the planning session. But this year, we're going to do a project charter. Now, why is that important? Because the project charter will help us focus. It will help us define our problem statement. It will help us define our project, come up with some objectives, our scope, which is really important because a lot of times when you have a project, you can have what we call scope creep, because you're not focused. So we're going to have the project charter to help us stay focused and help us establish a timeline and some valuable metrics for each focus area. So that's really, really important. And I know some people are not familiar with project charters, and I don't want that to be something that makes you say, you know what, I don't want to be involved. That sounds a little too hard. On March 25th, Dr. Matt Fall is going to talk to us about project charters, and he's going to help us understand how we can incorporate that into our strategic planning process. So I'm excited about it, and I hope that you are too. The product of what the work groups are going to do is going to be submitted for inclusion with the strategic plan document that we're going to present to the Board of Trustees. So it's real work. The work that's done in these work groups will be presented to the Board of Trustees through the strategic plan document. So now, if you are saying, I want to participate, but I don't want to be a leader, that's perfectly fine. There's plenty of work for everybody to do. And if you're not a leader, you may be asked to be the scribe. You could take notes at the meetings. You could collect data, do a research, a particular topic, organize data, goal setting. Maybe you want to help with writing and editing of the final work product from that group. There's tons of things that you can do. And even if you're not acknowledged as a leader for the work group, if you're not a part of the tri-lead, that doesn't mean that you will not be asked to lead certain aspects of the planning process. So this is a great opportunity for you either way to lend your voice, and also it's professional development because you'll be learning new skills. I think the project charter is something new for a lot of people. And then also just really working on a large cross-functional team, I think that can benefit anybody and add to your ability to perform on your job. So here's the strategic plan development schedule. And we said before that we're going to do these February Fridays. These are brainstorming sessions.
and we're going to do community sessions in March. And then at the end of March, we're going to establish our work groups. So once those work groups are established, we're going to use April and May to really do the work. That's when the work groups are going to meet. They're going to establish goals, objectives, measurements, and they're also going to do the project charters. That's going to happen between April and May. And those meetings will be set up by the members of the team. The tri-lead will establish the dates for those meetings. And then once that work is done, it's going to be submitted. And the information that's received from each focus group is going to be reviewed for the purpose of developing the draft strategic plan. And that's going to happen between June and July. In August, we fully expect to be able to have a draft strategic plan that we can share with the focus area groups that's been working on it, and also Academic Senate. And in September, we'd like to present the strategic plan to the Board of Trustees for a first read. And in October, we'll be able to submit it to the Board of Trustees for approval. So I know I've said a lot, but what I really want to get across is that, number one, we appreciate you even thinking about participating in strategic planning, and hope that after you've learned more about it, that you decide to do so. We hope that you understand that this is a collaborative process, is designed to be inclusive. And even if you can't come to the Friday sessions or to every session, the strategic plan at lcc.edu email address will be open until March 12th for you to provide feedback. That is the email address that we will use for both employees and students, so that you can send information to us. I hope that this was a good overview of what's going to happen. What we're going to do is our next session is going to be at 10 a.m. And that's going to be led by the one and only Dr. Tony Glasgow. She is going to lead the conversation on community engagement. I'm so excited and looking forward to that. And then we will have another session at 1 o'clock with James Mitchell, our Executive Director of Human Resources. And he's going to talk to you about leadership, culture, and communication, all things that are important to everyone in this college. So I really encourage you to participate. I thank you so much for your time. And before I completely close out, I will ask Dr. Robinson if he wants to say something today in terms of closing comments. But just remember, everyone, this particular session that you're in, you can actually, when we go to break, you can stop your video and kind of walk away and come back, and we'll still be in this same session for the 10 o'clock. Thank you so much. Dr. Robinson?
Dr. Samuel, that was excellent. And if we were all together, I would ask for a giant round of applause for Dr. Samuel for that excellent presentation. I have just a couple of closing comments. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Samuel and the entire team for putting together the structure and the framework that she just walked you through. And I want to point out something about it. With a brand new president, sometimes a college would start with a blank sheet of paper and would completely start over in a strategic planning process. I have a strategic planning background, and oftentimes that's exactly what a new president would do. But those of you who have worked on our process before and all the great work, you know that there is an excellent framework, a good scaffolding in place. And so this refresh process is, I think, a good strategic move to continue the momentum that we've had over many years. This will be my 5th multi-year community college strategic planning process. And it'll actually be the first time that I wasn't the lead facilitator for it. So I just want to thank Dr. Samuel for that excellent presentation, and end by asking something of all of you. This process will only achieve the results we saw in the video if we have deep and robust engagement from across the college. So I would really encourage faculty and staff from every area of the college to get involved and make sure that your voice is heard. We've put together a structure that will allow you to have that kind of input. So over these next several months, as we develop this refresh strategic plan, I encourage everyone to fully participate, to share their ideas, so we can craft the future of our college together. So thank you for your time this morning. Dr. Samuel, you did an excellent job. Lane, Dave, and the team, more amazing video storytelling. And I can't wait to be doing this work in person again. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for all you do for our students and communities here at LCC.